So we're live again. Welcome everybody to another live stream of me, Titanify, Stefan de Vreese here. So today we're going to look at Copilot, Office 365, Microsoft 365 Copilot, M365 Copilot. That's what we're going to talk about today and showing you all the features. Well, at least giving you an example or a global overview of what Copilot actually is within 365, because there's a lot of stuff happening there and there's a lot of confusion as well. So I want to make that a little bit more clear while I'm setting up here for going live on TikTok as well. So welcome everybody. If you have any questions about what I'm going to show, to talk about, just put it in comments. As always, happy to talk about it, happy to share all my thoughts here on the live. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's why we're here. So today it's all about Office, it's all about Copilot, the AI tool in Microsoft 365. While my computer is trying to catch up and to make sure that this is more smoothly than it should be, there we go. I think it's catching up slowly. So Copilot on Microsoft 365. So I've been delving a little bit deeper in all the concepts that Microsoft has been coming out with, and Copilot is a great tool. Copilot in Microsoft 365 is a huge step forward for definitely for Microsoft, for the AI tools that they have available, and the fact that they are working together with OpenAI is an extra big benefit for Microsoft. And I believe that actually Microsoft is silently winning a lot of the races that are out there around AI. And the reason that I believe that Microsoft could be a big winner in all of this is because of the fact that it integrates with their own ecosystem, with their own Microsoft 365 ecosystem, which is very important because a lot of the bigger businesses use 365, and even the smaller businesses use 365. You might not realize all the time, but just using Outlook or Excel or anything like that in the cloud, well, you're basically using the 365 environment. And the fact that then you can just easily switch on the AI tool within 365 is a huge advantage for anybody that is interested in using AI but is really afraid of using AI without losing or spilling a lot of their data, their own internal data, towards outside world. Because as it works with like ChatGPT and so on, well, if you put in data in ChatGPT, then it gets trained more and more and more on that data as well. So if you would put in some of your own data, of your own company data within ChatGPT, eventually somebody might just use that data to create some prompts, or maybe if you create a prompt as good enough, then you could potentially get the company data out of ChatGPT, and that's actually not a thing that you want, right? You don't want the data from your own company just to be spread all over the world and hoping that nobody would find it. But that's what's happening, especially now when everybody tries to get on AI, everybody tries to get on everybody gets try to use AI in a way that they feel comfortable with, that they think like this will help them a lot within their business, even within their business processes, but they fail to realize that it's a huge security risk, that it's a huge risk in terms of data loss. And if there's one thing that Microsoft has been doing from the beginning with Microsoft 365, it's making sure that you can set up your data loss prevention policies in a way that all your data is protected, is secure, is regulated, is compliant. All of these things are happening within the 365 environment. So that also means that you don't need to fear to use AI and thinking that your data is going to be used by anybody else. And I think that's huge, right? So I think really, and hey Anthony, hey New Game 53, welcome to the stream on TikTok. If you have any questions about this, just feel free to put it in chat. Always happy to talk about this. I'm just giving my thoughts about the AI capabilities of the Copilot within 365, within Microsoft 365, and how that is actually a great tool if you want to use AI within your business without having the risk to lose your data or to open up your data to a whole range of security breaches, right? That's what I want to talk about today. So if you have any ideas about that, just put them in chat. Happy to talk about all of that. So I'm going to show my screen. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you the infrastructure of the Copilot tool within 365, how the AI works with your data and how it stays protected within your environment. That's what I want to show you. So without further ado, let me go into this. Let's go into this one. There we go. Everybody can see my screen. So while I'm just showing all of this, I cannot see you because I'm just using a single screen. But this is the overview that Microsoft has released about the Copilot. And this gives you a great overview of how it works. There are a lot of terms here and probably you don't need everything, or you don't need to understand everything here. But what you do need to understand, especially the basics, and the basics are, if you see this dotted line, this is your Microsoft 365 service boundary, meaning this is all within your tenant. And the tenant is your own environment that you have. So if you have a license on Office 365, if you have a license, then you have your own tenant. And if you go, for instance, to portal.office.com, then like this one here, so this is your portal, this is within your tenant. And your tenant is basically called your domain name, right? So for me, that's titanify.be. Titanify is my tenant. Okay, it's linked to your domain name. So everything that is happening within that tenant stays within that tenant. And I think that is the very, very crucial part. That is the foundation of everything that is happening with the Copilot and with everything that AI is doing within your 365 environment, right? Wait, I'm trying to see, where is my TikTok here? No. Oh, here we are. So, Anthony, happy that you're here. Let us know where you're watching from. Always cool to know who we have here in chat. So, this is the scheme of Microsoft, and this is how the data is getting protected within your 365 environment. So, whatever you do within your environment, within your tenant, whatever you do around AI, whatever you prompt you put in there, it stays within these boundaries. I think that is super, super important. And it just starts like, okay, Copilot, you can integrate that with Outlook, Excel, Word, Teams, and so on and so on. So as an end user, one of your employees could start a prompt within Copilot within one of these tools. What happens is it gets sent to the Copilot, and then it actually uses your Microsoft Graph, right? So here, well, actually, can you see my mouse? Wait, let me see. Yeah, you can. Where is my chat? There it is. So if you ask Copilot something from within one of your Office tools, it goes to your Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is basically your database of all your content. So it's your context and content. So it's emails, files, meetings, chats, calendars, contacts. Every single data point that you have, every single file whatever you've put into your tenant, your 365 tenant, is stored within the Microsoft Graph. So the Copilot AI tool is actually going into the graph to pull up whatever is needed to give you the right kind of results from your prompt, right? Now, it searches in this information. It also uses the semantic index, which is a new feature that is built specifically for Copilot as well, because this means that it will only show relevant information that is available to you. This is also important. The security model of 365 works in such a way that you will only get to see, or the Copilot will only retrieve information that you as an end user are able to see. Again, a very important point with all of this, to make sure that it is secure, to make sure that your employees are not getting financial data, that they are not getting any kind of contract information, HR information that they shouldn't be seeing. Now, one thing to note here is that if you don't set up your classification, your data classification within Microsoft 365, they potentially could still see that data. So it's not because you just turn on Copilot and it will know exactly that some data is not available to some people. Only if you set up your data classification, your data protection policies, and so on, using Microsoft Purview. This is like the new logo of their tool, Purview. So you need to set that up. And in many cases, many businesses haven't set it up decently enough, because it always has been an afterthought, because they didn't think it was really that needed. And if you're a smaller company, I would also say like, okay, you don't really need it. But now with Copilot, you want to 100% make sure that your data is labeled, that it is protected, that not everything is just retrievable by putting in a prompt within Copilot. That is super important, right? So that's why data classification is very, very, very important here. So you need to have that. Okay, so it gets the data from your Microsoft Graph. Then it also uses the large language model within 365. So one thing to understand is that Microsoft has a collaboration with OpenAI. And it means that it doesn't necessarily mean that whatever you do within 365 will get sent to OpenAI. No, it means that all of the models that OpenAI has created, GPT-4, whatever, that is actually installed within your 365 environment. So you're able to use these models from OpenAI within your 365 environment without the data leaving your environment. So here, Azure OpenAI instance is maintained by Microsoft. OpenAI has no access to the data or the model. So Microsoft just uses the model from OpenAI within their own environment. And that's awesome. You don't need ChatGPT if you want to use AI. If you have Microsoft 365, you do not need ChatGPT. You can do everything within 365 without having the risk to lose your data to any other person out there. You don't need to do that. You don't need to fear about that. And you get all of the perks from the GPT models that OpenAI has generated. And because of this collaboration also, Microsoft keeps receiving all the newest models as well. Now, Azure OpenAI, and that's, so going back to the beginning. So you have Copilot. So Microsoft 365 Copilot, you have different versions of Copilots. I will not go deeper into that, but Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant within your 365 environment that can be used from within your Microsoft 365 apps to start with. Okay, that's piece number one in this whole AI overview of what Microsoft has in store within your environment. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. Anthony, if you're watching this, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat on TikTok. Happy to talk more about that. If it doesn't make sense, just let me know. I can try to explain a little bit more, but from all the research that I have done the last few months, I try to make it as practical as I can in my explanation, because there's a lot of stuff in here, right? Okay, this is Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, also what you need to understand, Microsoft 365 Copilot is not trainable. So when you use the Copilot within your 365 apps, whatever you put in there, it is not going to get trained on your prompts, on the data. No, it just remains an AI assistant. You still have to provide the right kind of prompts before you get out the right kind of information from your data. It will not learn from the data that it gets from your graph. It won't do that, all right? So that is a really big point here, because there are other AI features within the 365 environment that are trainable. And the next piece, the next AI piece within the 365 environment is the AI Builder. The AI Builder, and this is like a cheat sheet that you can get from the Microsoft Power Platform site. The AI Builder. What is AI Builder? AI Builder is a no-code AI model generator, if you want. It was like not as easy for me to really understand what is the distinction between Copilot, AI Builder, and there's another one. I will talk about that more later. But what is the difference between Copilot and AI Builder? AI Builder lives within the Power Platform. So within Microsoft 365, you have your tools, you have Teams, Word, Excel, that is Office 365. But you also have your Power Platform. So within the Power Platform, you have Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, all of these kind of nice things. And you can create your own environment. So your own Power Platform environment, all right? So within that environment, you have an AI Builder. You have an AI Builder, you have the AI Hub that is added. So if you want to create automations within 365, you have to use Power Automate. And within Power Automate, you and Power Apps and so on, you have your AI Hub. And it is here where you can build AI models. So with the AI Builder, you can build AI models. And these models are trainable. So which means that whatever you build here is getting trained, learns from documents, for example, right? Whatever documents you put in here, it will learn from those documents how to effectively retrieve information from those documents. They have built some pre-made models, as you can see here, that you can enter, that you can use within your automation. So how I try to explain it is like Copilot is your AI assistant that you can just use whenever you want, whenever you need it. You have to still do it manually. You put in your prompts manually and you get out the result, and the results, you do something with the results also manually, okay? Now, for some people, for some businesses, that's more than enough. I mean, this will already enhance your productivity a lot, right? But the next step is then, well, what about automations? What can you do when you want to automate some of these steps? And an example is if you have meetings and you have transcripts from those meetings and you want to create summaries out of those meetings. You want to add some action points within your planner, for example. Well, ideally you use an automation for that. The good thing about this automation is that you can use AI Builder, right? So you can, for each step of your automation, you can use an AI model. And I'll just show you one, just to give you an example. And I'll check just the chat. Does that make sense, actually? I'm not sure if that makes sense for everybody to see what is the difference between Copilot and AI Builder for now. It's sometimes not easy to wrap your head around it, because all these tools, all these features, all these words, all these things, like what does it all mean? How can we use it, right? And that's what I want to try to make sense of out of all of that. Let me see if I can actually pull this up. So within Power Automate, I think, I'm not sure if this one, I was fiddling around with all of these things. Let's just take this one. They also released their new builder, like their new flow builder, like this. This looks really cool, actually. Drag and drop, finally, good. So if you add an action within your flow, so if you think about Zapier, Make.com, blah, 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 Power Automate is the Microsoft version of those tools, and you can build your own automation. So within here, I can add an action. And so let's say when an email is flagged, so if I flag an email in Outlook, it will create a task. And maybe what I can do then as a next step, I can use AI Builder. And here, what I see here is all the pre-built models that it has created, that Microsoft has created. So then I could say, there's something like this: analyze positive or negative sentiment in text. Is a pre-made builder. So I say it's English text, and then text comes from the email. So we have here the body. There we go. That's it. That's all. Nothing else is needed. And that's it. And I kind of run this. So the AI Builder gives you the opportunity to add multiple tasks from multiple models that interact with each other. You can extract information from invoices, extract information from documents, from business card, all of these kind of things, OCR, and so on and so on. Or you can also just use, and this was an option as well, here, create text with GPT using a prompt. So this is basically, if you create a prompt within ChatGPT, for example, it will generate a result. And that's just what you can do here. If you use this one, what is the prompt, right? And here you can see classify, test prompt. I'm not even sure what this does. Input text, input categories. I mean, there's a lot of stuff still to discover. Some of this stuff, if it want to work. Classify, and here is the prompt. This is like a saved prompt as you want in ChatGPT as well. Like classify the input, and then you have your input fields here. Classify the input text into one of the categories or unclear, analyze, blah, 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 blah. So this is a pre-built prompt with input fields. Right? You can create something like this yourself as well. And that's the point. That is the great thing about the AI Builder. As you can see here at the right-hand side, actually, you have Copilot as well. So the Copilot is here your AI assistant that helps you create your flows. So I could say extract main topic from email. And I will go ahead and adjust the flow, or at least it should do that. But this is the Copilot that I talked about in the beginning. So that's the one, the AI assistant, that just does whatever you tell them to do. please rephrase. As you can see, look, AI generated content may be incorrect. So, I mean, this is from this prompt, it doesn't know what to do. So, from Outlook email, extract the body and put into Teams channel. Let's see. I don't know what it will give, you know, but this is how you can use the Copilot to generate your flow, basically, right? This is what Copilot does. So it's different than AI Builder. AI Builder is using a model. Yeah, it just replaces my actions here. If you do that, I'm gonna undo that because I don't want that. Revert, please. But these AI models, so you can use this within your automation. That's the point. That's what AI Builder stands for. Just save this. Let's see. Okay, then I'm not gonna save. I don't want to waste time on this. So AI Builder, this is what it is. So AI Builder also lives within the Dataverse. So the Power Platform Dataverse is like also a central database where you can store all your data that you can use within the Power Platform. So the AI Builder also uses that capabilities. But as said, you can just create your own model here, and that's really interesting. I want to wait. Where did I have this? My models, yes. Wait, let's see. AI Hub. See more AI models, so I need this. How did I do this again? Extract information, document processing, okay. Receipt processing, business card. So text, sentiment analysis, category. So this is pre-built, 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 images, pre-built, custom model. So detect here, this is what you can do, custom model. And here you also have custom model. So based on either documents, based on custom model text, based on structured data, custom model. So within one of these categories, you can build your own custom model. That's the idea. So for instance, document processing, let's see, structured data, historical data, images. I like this one. So let's say detect objects from pictures, from images. So this is like an example, but as you can see how powerful this could be, right? So easily build, train, and publish an object detection custom model to identify and locate custom objects in images. Custom models are trained with your own data. This is important. It is trained with your own data. So they are tailored to your business needs. And then you can go on and on and on. You create custom model, you give it your own name, and you use your own data to do stuff with it. This is detect custom objects. I actually want to do the OCR thing, so here it creates the overview where you can keep building the AI model. I mean, this is just some examples. I'm going to just save and close because I want the other one. Documents. These are pre-built models. Extract information from documents. So stuff like this. So OCR trained AI model. Let me go here. So this creates text recognition from photos or from documents. I mean, this is great stuff. And this is just scratching the surface. So if you can train these kind of things within your own documents if you want, and then you can see extracted information. This is what is extracted. So this is an example, right? So once you create your custom model, then you basically have to put in your own documents. And from those documents, then you can extract the information that you want specifically for your own, like structured documents. Let's see, yes. Here you can see some examples. So this is just an example of what types of documents you can use. And next is you actually have to add your information. So what kind of fields do you want to extract? So let's say company name. Oh, company name. Okay, done. That's it. And you can do a lot of other things, of course. So you can do text field, number field, date field, checkbox table. Cool. And then here you add your collection of documents. So this is where you add your documents that your model can study on, right? Add sample documents for your model to study. You can add several collections with the same type of documents, so it's easier for the model to learn, to study. Here you add documents. So I can use from my device, I can use SharePoint. So let's go here. I want recent sites because I added some stuff here in this one, documents, and I just one file. Okay, just want to show you an example of this. So I'm going to upload this file, and this is like an invoice. Very simple, done. Okay. And I think, yeah, you have to at least 5 sample documents for each collection. So I need to add more, basically. So this is something that I will do later on. I will create more of an in-depth video about how to do this. Right now, I want to also talk about the third option. But look, if you added all of these documents, then the next option is to tag the documents. Then there's the model summary, and then you have your model. And when the model is, because now it's draft, right? Like here, draft. You can then publish this model, and then you can use it in your automation. So if you have specific documents, let's go back here. Okay. So if you have specific documents, specific data, specific images in your company that you want to do some stuff with, that for now you do it manually, right? You do all of the stuff manually, and this is the case in I guess this is the case in many businesses where you have a lot of this kind of structured and unstructured data, and you still do a lot of stuff on these documents, on the data manually to extract summaries, reports, presentations, and so on. While you, as you can see, you can create your own AI models that are trained on your documents. These AI models are trained on your documents. I cannot stress this enough, how important that is. Because now you can actually create an automation that uses an AI model that extracts the right kind of information from your documents very specifically, very detailed, so you can go on and use this data in a way that is very structured, and you don't lose the time to assess these documents, to extract the information from these documents. I think that's awesome. I mean, I've been within the 365 space and within the SharePoint space since 2009, and I've seen the evolution, and I can just imagine how much of this would be so useful when I would have that in the beginning of SharePoint 2010, for example, or even later on. But having something like an AI model that can be trained on your own data, and the way that I just did it, right? It is a no-code tool, so you can create these AI models by yourself, creating from your own data. That is awesome. That is huge, right? And of course, it requires some expertise to actually create these AI models and to set it all up and to create the automation to make sure that it all works correctly. Still, that's still a big chunk of the work. But having the capability is I think it's amazing. I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think it's something that will change a lot of the businesses and a lot of the processes that are out there. So I love it. I love it. And I've just scratched the surface of what is possible with this. I can already think about it and like create an imagination on all the things that I could create with this for businesses. So cool stuff. Cool stuff. Now, how long are we into this actually? Where can I see this? Where is my time? Oh, here, 35 minutes. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to show, and the last thing, is Azure OpenAI, Azure AI. So going back to here. Oh no, shit. I was explaining all of that without showing it. Oh my god. So so you saw it on TikTok what I was showing, but not on all the other channels. Oh my god. Well, there you go. Bloopers. So I'll just have to create another video about it. Well, that wasn't really what I was expecting, but okay. Stuff like this happens. Oh my god. So embarrassing. How did I not see that? That's why I need the second screen. Fuck's sake. Okay. So going back to my original overview here. So we have Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this is your basic AI assistant within your 365 environment, which uses the data from within your tenant, and you can access the Copilot from within all of your tools, all of the apps, the 365 apps like I just showed you as well. With Power Platform, that's what you can do. And then you had your AI builder. So your AI builder is something like this, where you could add within your Power Apps, within your Power Automate, within your automations, you could add a model that processes documents, that processes images, act on tabular data, process text, and so on and so on. So a lot of this good stuff that you can create custom models around, custom models based on your own company data. Really, really, really cool stuff. And then lastly, I mean, as a big chunk of the whole AI features within Microsoft, within the Microsoft ecosystem, you have Azure OpenAI Service. So within Azure, you have also an AI builder. So you have one within 365, you have one within the Power Platform, and you also have one within Azure. And actually, there's also something that I haven't really mentioned yet, is the Copilot Studio. Now I have to think, where did I put that? Have to remove this. Copilot Studio. Oh god, where is this? Copilot. this one? Try free, try demo. I already have it, so Copilot. I should bookmark these things. Wait, let me check here. Always getting confused with all of these domain names. Copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Well, it's not that difficult actually. Copilotstudio.microsoft.com. So you can actually build your own AI chatbot within 365 as well, and also that it will also use your own data. So it's now I have to be careful with what I say. I'm not sure if this one is trainable or not. I'll have to look into that. But Copilot Studio is again an easier version to create your own AI chatbot within 365. So Power Virtual Agents is now Microsoft Copilot Studio. So here you can create your own copilots, and actually you have your models here as well. See, so I need to dive deeper into that. But here I was already doing something like, well, this one, for example, uses the data from the website, from my website, and I can embed this on my website to have like a chatbot on my website. And it uses, let me see here, so we have the entities. This one, conversational plugins, AI plugins, generative AI, I think this, yeah, this was the one. And here you can add your own website. So here you can add public websites so that when you ask something like, give me the latest blog posts from the site. Let's see if that will work. Titanify.biz. No, I'll have to add my actual website. This was the previous one. Oh, no. Delete. HTTPS. Titanify.be. That's the one. That's the English version. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of stuff in here as well that I haven't really uncovered yet. What are the services of Titanify? Yeah. So this takes the information from the website, as you can see, and if you click on this, it will open the website basically. So very simply put, an AI assistant that uses your own data from your own website. Don't leave. So you can also add documents in here. You can also add SharePoint sources in here. So if you have like a Word file, you could add that Word file in here as well. But as you can see, this is not automated, right? So you could do plugins and so on. How do I? Sorry, save, of course. So you could add plugins and so on, so extensible AI plugins that it connects to, I think it connects also to Azure OpenAI. So there is a lot of stuff here to uncover as well. And this, I mean, if you look at the picture, so I just was talking about Microsoft 365 Copilot. So the Copilot Studio is kind of part of that, but you have your out-of-the-box Copilot that just uses your apps and so on. And this one here, you can create your own based on topics, based on data, and so on and so on. And then you have your AI builder, which is then for the automation. And then you have also your Azure OpenAI service, which is something similar as this, where you can build your AI, but as a solution, as a full-blown solution. So that's also very different than the others, because with Azure you start basically from scratch, right? You can build it from scratch. You can build your own AI solutions within Azure. Let's see. I haven't done anything with this yet. They also have like the studio, as you can see on the left hand side, what all of these possibilities are. This is if you really want to go deep. So let's see if I can do this. You have a lot of trial versions with this, so you can really try it out for yourself. Resource group, Titanify AI, please. Titanify AI. Okay. Oh yeah, look, and even here, I cannot even get it without actually asking access. So I need to have, or need to request access before I can even do anything with it. But from the information that is available, again, if you want to use this, it's really about creating your own solutions, your own AI solutions, based on everything that is within Azure, Microsoft 365, and so on and so on. If you don't know that much about Azure, it's basically an environment where you can set up servers, where you can host scripts, where you can put in a lot of the services. You can buy domain names and all of that. So there's a lot of that within Azure. There's a lot of full ecosystem within there, and Azure OpenAI service is then the way to create your own. So building a solution in Azure AI Studio requires you to build infrastructure and code. So this is the main difference, right? You have to provide your own infrastructure, code, data, and then train a model yourself. An outcome is a customized solution that responds to prompts from a specific set of data that is trained over time. So if you want to go really, really complex, then you can do that using Azure OpenAI service. And Azure, whatever you build within that kind of ecosystem, you can then also use within your automations, and you can also use that within Microsoft 365 if you want to. But I guess this really shows the versatility. I guess this shows how much is in the full ecosystem, the full Microsoft ecosystem. When we talk about AI, honestly, I think I have, again, just scratched the surface of what is possible and what we can do with it. And it's exciting. I mean, I think it's really exciting to see all of this and to see the possibilities, to see what we can do with it. Because the scenarios, the business scenarios are plenty, are so much that you can do with this. With the AI builder, if you want to build automations, if you see all of these automations coming out that people are building with Zapier, with Make.com and so on, and where they use ChatGPT, for example, great, good stuff. You can do that as well within 365, within a secure environment, within an environment that is compliant, that is regulated through all of the policies that you can set up for yourself within your own environment. And again, I cannot stress this enough, with the biggest addition, that it does not leave your tenant. If you set it up well, it does not leave your tenant. And I think that is a super important point where I think this is going to be super important for a lot of businesses in the coming months and years even, where a lot of businesses that want to access AI are hesitant to use it because they're not sure if it's really that secure. But if you see this infrastructure of Microsoft, and if you can see that it can be made super compliant and super secure, then it's a good indicator for businesses that they can use AI in a secure environment. It's a good use case. And it's also a way for businesses to actually start thinking seriously about data loss prevention, data classification, labeling, and so on and so on. And I do believe that the whole compliance suite of Microsoft is going to blow up very much. There's going to be a ton of work to be done with a lot of companies that want to be compliant, that want to use AI, but not before all of the data loss prevention tools are getting set up. I think that is a major point that a lot of businesses will step into. That's what I think. It's a bit the same situation as was before with actually Office 365, coming from SharePoint on-prem, coming from SharePoint 2010 and so on, and stepping into Office 365. That's where a major shift happens, where a lot of migrations were happening towards the new way of working. And I think this is going to be a little bit the same, where a lot of people, a lot of businesses want to use AI, but they want to also make sure that it is still secure. And that's where this portal, Microsoft Purview, comes into play as well. So yeah, this is something that I'm going to focus on more in the next few weeks and months, diving deep into Purview, all of the tools, all of the possibilities in here. So we are ready for automating with specific AI models, that we can create our AI models, that we can use them in our automations. We can also set up our own copilots, and so on and so on. So you can already imagine how much possibilities, how much potential this has to change the full business landscape for all the businesses, that this will improve productivity for all of the employees. If it's done right, if it's done okay, then this will be super important. So yeah, that's a little bit what I wanted to show today for those people joining through all the other platforms, for all the people that are joining on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. My apologies that I was sharing just a black screen. That was my fault. But I will make it up. I will definitely make a video about all the things that I have been talking about today, because I think it's important, and I think more people need to be educated about it. More CEOs, CEOs, anybody that is within the bigger businesses, even the smaller businesses, everybody needs to know the capabilities of this. And if I tell people about the fact that everything that you do within the AI, everything that you do within your 365 environment is really contained within that environment, many people don't know that, and it's a bit surprising, but I think that is really, I do think that Microsoft has one of the best platforms that combines security, compliance, AI, productivity. Right now, 100%. If I look at Google, Apple, all the other players, they don't have something like this. And even, ChatGPT, nice, very well done, but all the stuff I mean, if you look at a business, if a business uses ChatGPT, great, but how to make it really practical, I would say. How to make using ChatGPT practical in a business environment. Using Zapier, using all of these other tools, yes, but looking beyond that, looking at the regulations that are coming out in Europe, for example, around AI, and I'm pretty sure at a certain point they will demand from the businesses that the data, that the AI that they're using, the data that they're putting in and so on, that it is secure, compliant, GDPR rule, whatever, that it's all there. And then I really think that businesses will have a hard time proving that what they are doing with AI is compliant, is secure, all of that, while they're using all of these tools. But what is possible and what will happen is that if people use Microsoft 365, they have a head start because it already has all of the features to make sure that you are ready within your business to use AI in a responsible way, in a secure way. And that's a big advantage. That cannot be underestimated. That Microsoft has a big advantage there. And that I don't see anybody yet coming close to what Microsoft has. I'm sorry for the non-Microsoft fans, but that's just the way it is. And for businesses, what is most important, it's not so much the tools that they're using, but that within their business, the business processes that they're using, that, well, it is secure, it is compliant, all of that. That is the most important piece. So if that now is possible through Microsoft, then they will use that. I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure that they will use that. What do you think? If you're watching this, if you have some thoughts about this, put it in chat. I'm curious about what your thoughts are about all of this. Let's see here. And it's so stupid that I didn't show the screen and I just showed the black screen. I hate that. I'll have to delete the vault of this because it's just useless. Oh well, stuff happens. Every time we learn something new, we try to do something more with these live streams. Any case, hope this is a little bit of value to you. And if you're stuck with this, if you have more questions about what it can mean for your business, I'm always here. You can DM me, you can put it in comments. If you have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer all of them because this is what we do. This is what we love to do. Do I have any comments here? I'm checking on my other computer to see, but it doesn't look like I have. Okay. Bueno. Anthony, are you still there? Anthony, I'm gonna follow you. There we go. What else do we have here? Nothing much. Okay, I'm not gonna waste more time for you or for me. I think I said what I needed to say today. I need to make a point. I need you to take me accountable, to make me accountable, to take me accountable, that I will create that video about these different structures. And I think it makes most sense to explain the structure between Copilot and AI Builder, because that I was really thinking about that, like if I saw how AI Builder connects with, for instance, Azure OpenAI, how that would work. Like, does it then send the data to OpenAI? It doesn't, but just that fact, I don't think a lot of people understand that or know that, so I really need to make a video about that. Maybe there are already videos, but for my own reference, it's always good to go deeper into these things. So that's it for me today. Thank you everybody for watching, for joining, for sticking around. Again, if you have any questions about business process automation, using AI, using Microsoft 365, you know where to find me. Titanify. My name is Stefano Vreze. I'm here to help you with all of that. And by that, I say goodbye. Have a nice evening. And until the next time. Bye bye.